I'm delighted to welcome our first speaker, who needs little introduction for most of you, I'm sure. Enrique Blanco is CTO of Telefonica and is here to talk to us about 5G and fibre, making the massive, complete digitisation of society possible, and especially the role of network as a service. Enrique, welcome, and over to you.
Thank you very much. And so let me share with you what we are doing in Telefonica and how we are reaching all the steps that you have been mentioning before. And so it is not innovative if I affirm that 5G and fiber, they are part of our main priorities, but how we are doing and how we will reach the network as a service approach, it is a journey that I will try to mention. So if you see which are our main pillars in our big effort building infrastructures and capabilities for our customers and the societies when we are serving. So the first of all, it is the fiber. So there is an extremely high appetite for firms and operators and societies extending the fiber coverage. So we are progressing very fast since 25 or 28 when we start deploying fiber. So we are doing a massive approach in Spain. We are just very close to switch off all the copper. We will try to do it in 2024. So we will be switching off all the copper. So we are building a massive FTTH coverage in all the operation where we are. And we are building a multi-technology. We are building a multi-PON with different laser capabilities, being ready with the external plan prepared to offer our customer 10G PON and 50G PON when it is feasible. So we are building this as a multi-service. So this is something that, you know, if you're asking me and all the professional of the CTIOs, guys, so all of us, we know what to do. So we have the customer premises equipment capability. We are working in Wi-Fi 6. We are just working in Wi-Fi 7. So we are improving the experience and we are building an extremely powerful FTTH capabilities. And even we are using the fiber goes concept that they are helping us trying to go faster in terms of CapEx allocation. So this is something that is happening. And we have not any doubt about this will be the final solution. So there are pretty new solutions as a fiber to the room that they are extremely important for the customer approach. But so nothing new about this, but a massive effort and extremely appetite for doing it. In 5G, you know what all of us we are doing. We are progressing in 5G new radio. We are just closing and we are just deploying 5G standalone with the core pieces. This is happening today, fully virtualized and softwareized capabilities. So we are massively using the spectrum that we have for the 5G, which is one of our main assets. Sometimes we forget it, but it is great. We are working extremely hard in 5G use cases, using slicing and edge capabilities by the hand of the standalone. So it is something which is a real fact. Don't forget that we have a country, Brazil, who is starting with the standalone from scratch. So, and we are evolving all the architecture and capabilities, trying to get a significant part of the 6 GHz spectrum, helping us trying to manage all the capacity that we have. And by the hand of the 5G, we are doing a big effort in the disaggregation for the IP and optics. We are building the IP and optics with the right architecture. We are building SDA layer, helping us trying to really softwareize and to really disaggregate the capabilities with one single main purpose. We are growing year over year 50% of traffic, and we cannot grow 50% out for CapEx in the transport layer. And because the technology and because the architecture and because the softwareization, it is helping us trying to sustain and to maintain with a more or less flat CapEx, helping us trying to grow with the capacity that our customers are asking for us. But this is the traditional, this is nothing new for you, but if you go to how we are building it, we are doing a massive softwareization of our network. What means this? We are evolving all the IT to a native cloud. We start by the B2B, but we are now pushing very hard for the B2C, BSS and OSS. We are building with the main hyperscalers how we can build the IT, go to cloud with the IT, especially with the native cloud solution. And this is helping us trying to go faster in the BSS approach. Let me give an example. If I compare the full stack that we were building since 2012, 2013, and I compare the velocity that we are implementing the native cloud solution for the B2B, it is a matter of months. It is not a matter of years. And it is the simplicity, the velocity, and the how we are sustaining a business which is growing in double digits, as it is the B2B. A significant part of the success, it is for sure the combination of connectivity and services, but it is how we are building the BSS. And this is a significant part of the cloudification. But we are just close to start with a brownfield with multi-band 4G and 5G open RAN capabilities. We will announce in a short period of time with a real open RAN approach that it is helping us trying to softwareize all the baseband that today it is in the rooftop or in the tower. So open RAN, open broadband, opening the capabilities for the OLT multi-pond. So all the open structure with the capabilities that we are building with the SDN. So and all the architecture for the IT, it is helping us trying to build software pieces that they are managing all the access asset that we have today. And they are helping us to go through a real softwareization. And this means that we are reducing the complexity that we have today. You cannot do it if you don't go through the automation and how we are building all the OSS, all the use case over the data lake that we are building with these software pieces of the network. It is the next feature that we need to solve. And it is one of our main projects that we have in Telefonica, how we can build the automation, the zero touch, putting together all the software pieces that today we have not still in there, because we have been progressing very fast with PNF and CNF, but it is not enough if we are not going through open RAN and open broadband and what we are doing with the SDN in the IP optics. So this is what we are doing today. So these are numbers. We are running very fast in all of this. Every day we are growing and growing, offering our customers additional capacities and capabilities, 4G, 5G, and so on. But this is what for us it is extremely relevant, how we are building the technology, offering our customer an extraordinary customer experience, but with all the intelligence centralized and with open interface. I remark, open interfaces. You can softwareize fast, but if you are not going through open interface, you are still building black boxes. I can understand that the provider, they are thinking to do it, but this is not our architecture. This is not what we think that we need to do. And we are building on pure software pieces working with open interfaces. This is applicable for the customer premises equipment, applicable for all the access, applicable for all the transport, applicable for all the DNF and CNF capabilities, and applicable for all the evolution of the OSS and BSS. Major composition, we are softwareizing. I don't say that we will be converting, we will be going through a commoditized hardware, all the access, but in the next future, this is going to happen. Maybe 2025, maybe 2027, maybe 2030, but this is going to happen. So this is what we are doing every day. So we cannot still maintain building the complexity of the traditional services, but in front of us, we need to guarantee that once we are creating an extraordinary good connectivity, once we are getting simplicity through the softwareization of all the net services with the cybersecurity in our hand, with the IoT, with the big data technologies, we cannot support this. We cannot support this CapEx effort if we are not going by the hand of the monetization and of the revenues that we need to improve and achieve. And this is, we know what to do. We know how to softwareize. We know how to simplify. We know how to go through this architecture that we are building. But doing this needs to deploy massively 5G, deploy massively standalone capabilities, deploy massively edge computing capabilities, building the slicing capabilities, building the massive fiber capabilities, and the revenues are flat or growing, and not in the same way that the CapEx need to be doing. Because of this, it is because Telefonica, it is pushing by the hand of the GSMA, the network as a service capabilities. All what I mentioned before, it is done with the best FO network. Maybe it is a very best FO network, but we are trying to, as an industry, change this paradigm. So we are building a pure software capabilities, but we need to build network that need to be really trying to offer a specific performance for a specific services. And we need to do is in an interoperable way as an industry approach. And this is because the GSMA signed in Mexico the MOU that will be defining how we need to build services going through a specific performance of the network. And this is a huge impact in how we are planning the network, how we are reserving capacity for the network, how we can fulfill all the requirements of the regulators. But we are building how the hyperscalers, how the service providers up in the cloud capabilities, gaming, services of video, so layers with the slicing, how they can reach this extraordinary good performance, which is out of the traditional best effort, and how we can guarantee that all these services can be reached in an interoperable way with different operators. This architecture, the impact in the network, the impact in the relationship with the hyperscaler, it is something that we are building and need to be helping us trying to maximize the capabilities of the evolution of the network in a pure softwareized approach, and helping us trying to guarantee that all the effort that we are doing in the 5G with the fiber and that will be growing can be fully monetized. And finally, if something is asking a specific performance for the network warranty, so we can offer. But this is something that needs to be helping us trying to monetize. Interoperability, industry approach, how will be the standard that we are building? It is something that we are working, because this doesn't work if we are working one by one. This needs to be an industry. We are building a new ecosystem and a new paradigm in the evolution of the network. And we are building extraordinary, great performance network services. But we need to differentiate, and we need to guarantee that we can monetize this. How we will be building this, it is a matter of years, but we are pushing very hard trying to get some commercial approach in 2023 for this new paradigm of offering performance for the network for our customers and for the guys that they are building services. This is what we are doing. This is what we are pushing. So there is, for each one of the slices on picture, so there is a deep dive. All of us we are working in this, but it is key that we understand that it is not only about technology, it is about services, it is about revenues. And this is something that we need to understand, because if we are not capable to get successful in this, so the velocity that we will deploy the network, it is going to be the velocity that the societies that we are serving needs for the digitalization and so on. This is a very, very, very extremely reduced information in the speech. So I'm open to questions now or later on. So because I finished with these sentences, my proposal and my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Enrique. So we have a couple of questions for you. And the first one is, do Telefonica stations participate in the virtual power plant market, or is there interest in it?
We are participating, yes, but we have a lot of angles of this. So maybe I can elaborate a little bit more. So tell me, so how are the kind of information that you need, and I will be sharing with you so in real time.
Okay, so you can't talk about that now. Okay, and another questioner asks, when Telefonica is talking about telco cloud, does this refer to OpenStack-based infrastructure, or will it also be based on cloud-native basics, excuse me, such as Kubernetes?
Both. Traditionally, the telco cloud, 2 years ago, it is how we can migrate all our IT pieces, legacy or not, including the native cloud they are from the scratch in the cloud itself. So, but we are migrating all the legacy pieces through the telco cloud. This is the initial with the ODA architecture, we are starting with the Telefonica open architecture. Both legacy going through the cloud pieces and all the native cloud. But in this journey, we learn that it is not only with this way of thinking and way of working and using the infrastructures. We are using this for the BNF, for the network pieces that we are migrating to the cloud. And today, go to cloud means IT pieces that they are coming from the legacy for the native cloud, and BNF and CNF pieces that they are significant part of the network, IMS, PCRF, core, that we are going through the cloud, and it is part of the program that we are following every day with that hyperscaler. So to be honest, when we do the decision to put together IT network, sometimes it is very difficult for me to distinguish. So what we are managing in the cloud paradigm, doesn't matter which kind of cloud we are using. So, but it is both OpenStack and cloud native, but not only that.
So you expect to run them in parallel for quite some time?
We are doing, because the efficiencies, they are helping us trying to go faster. So if you are doing together, so it is easier trying to sign contract with the traditional hyperscalers.
Okay, and another question for you, Enrique. How is Telefonica going to guarantee the quality of the network, and how will this be solved with relation to the open architectures?
What we are creating, so first of all, 5G, when we were defining 5G, so in 2010, 29, so we were defining NEF, which is network exposure. So a significant part of this protocol, which is using standalone approach, it is how you can expose in performance of the network. This is included in the 5G itself. But it is not only what you need. You need to build this layer. You need to build all the pricing and all the charging capabilities. And you need to define how will be the relationship with the developers that they will be asking for this service. It is an end-to-end approach. Developers, platform that it is managing all these services, and the platform which is managing all the network exposure capabilities. This is an end-to-end, and this is something that the GSMA is defining. So trying to allocate all the services in camera that need to be interoperable. So in the network itself, we can do it because we have the prudence of defining this when we were defining the 5G standards. But there is more than the standard. So the point is that we were really trying to do it. Initially, we need to reserve some capacity. We will try to do it in the 3.5 gigahertz, 20–30%. But in the next future, if we have successful and the people it is asking for the kinds of services, we need to plan in a different way, trying to preparing these network capabilities, analyzing how will be the network necessity. But this will be a second step. So this is what we are doing today. And the second point that it is about the open architecture. When you are softwareizing the capabilities, it is quite different to offer this network exposure using the traditional baseband, the traditional radio access network, when you need to manage so different capabilities with different baseband that they are not centralized. It is quite different if you are managing a pure software piece centralized, when you are managing a significant number of antennas from a central point. So the complexity from the architecture, it is quite different. And this is because how we will be going faster in the centralization with open interfaces will be easier to go to a massive capabilities in terms of network exposure and network quality. And don't forget that it is not only for 5G, it needs to be fully applicable for Wi-Fi. And this is because we are talking about open broadband. Don't forget that up to the 80% of the total traffic that the customer is managing, it is coming from Wi-Fi. And we need to be really trying to offer this quality on demand for the Wi-Fi customer, that in our case, it is customers that they are using FTTH capability.
That's quite high, isn't it? We do forget that element, and it's huge, isn't it? So another question for you, please, is Open RAN, and how challenging will this be for Telefonica, given all the investments you've made in SRAN?
No, first of all, we are not pushing more than 5 years ago Open RAN looking for reduce the total cost of the bridge. So this is not what we are looking for. So to be honest, as we didn't when we were pushing for the BNF with our Unica program. So we in the next future, once you are going over 6 gigahertz and 10 gigahertz, and we will need it. So the antenna needs to be close to the customer. That means that in the next future, and you will be looking in the buildings, optical boxes for fiber and small cells with frequency higher of 6 gigas, 10 gigas, close to the customer because of pure physicist effect with this penetration and capacity. And so we will maintain the towers and the rooftop for sure for 3.5, but we need to change how the network will be deployed. And I cannot imagine a baseband in a small cells managing this kind of frequency. So need to be fully centralized. It is going to happen. It is going to happen. So we need to start defining central intelligence covering the baseband functionalities. And if you try to do it, it needs to be done with an open interfaces capabilities, not with black boxes that will be controlling. So at the initial stages of OLT and ONT. We have been working very hard, and we have today a solution that we will be starting commercially very soon. We will announce it. It is a pure open RAN approach, and it is a 4G and 5G open RAN in a brownfield capabilities. We will be testing because if we guarantee the performance, so we will be much more close trying to get any other kit in town that will be helping us trying to go faster and to simplify how we're managing this network. And this is our dream. And we know that it will be easier to visit it and waiting. First of all, that we have today, going later on to be run, and later on to be run, we will see when we go to open run. So it is here. But you know, we are Telefónica. We are not looking the easy way. We are trying to find the right way. Similar thinking that we have with the fiber in 25 and 28. We can be seated and waiting using VDSLs and so on. But we take the decision that the customer deserve the maximum quality that technology can be offering. And this is FTTH. And this is because since 25, we were starting with FTTH and 28 massively. So there is any other solution that works perfectly. But so if the technology can offer this capacity, so we will offer our customer. This is very similar to Open RAN. We can fail. So I know it, but believe me, analyzing the maturity of the solution, so we are extremely confident that before 2025, a significant percentage of the deployment of radio will be done with this technology.
Okay, thank you. And are you building great commoditized connectivity for the OTT and the hyperscale players? And how will you monetize this?
So this is today the model that we have with the hyperscaler, it is not fair. This is because we are going through the fair share. It is not fair. So let me give some data. There is many things to solve it. Doesn't matter which is the operator that we are considering, especially if it's European. You see how it is the effort that we did managing data. So don't forget that we are a company that we are managing data. So this is my business, managing data. So if you see I'm multiplying by 0.4 or 0.5 year over year, I'm growing in my traffic data management every year. If you analyze in the past 6-7 years, I've been multiplying by 5 by 6 the data capacities of my network consistently year over year. So, and if you see which is the curve of the data management, if you analyze the curve of the revenues, you can apply for all of us. It is growing in the best of the cases 2-3% year over year, just flat. If you analyze all these data management capabilities that have been built for us, for all my colleagues in Europe and for Telefonica and all the operations, so who have been monetizing this capacity?
Okay, and this kind of touches on something we discussed already, is do you consider cloud-owned, should we try that again? Do you consider telco-owned cloud infrastructure or infrastructure provided by hyperscalers and others as the right choice? Or is a mix required? We did.
So it is today what I see it is when we try to guarantee velocity deployment and so on. So we are operating with the Azure, AWS, Google, and you see that there are some movement. Rakuten has offering his own capabilities with Robin.io, and you see now Oracle that they are offering the OCI. So you need volume, you need high processes. So at least in our case, we do not consider that we will be in the cloud itself, because a matter of competitiveness and volume. So today we are going together with all the hyperscalers in the cloud capabilities, and in some cases in the services. A good example, it is Microsoft with Azure and so on. But I don't consider today that Telefonica, at least, it will be extremely competitive in this, looking my final customer. This is first. Second one, it is, if I cannot be using my own capabilities in my central offices, being extremely competitive in edge. So this is a different challenge. So we can be extremely competitive in edge because we have all the capabilities, all the fiber, all the energy, so we're guaranteed, so we can offer. So my point is that in the cloud itself, it is not our business, but in edge, we have a lot of things to say.
Okay, and I think this is going to have to be our final question, which is a shame. As a group, will Open RAN, will it be a low-cost operation as a cloud-native technology, or do you think Open RAN's focus is going to stay or be in developed markets?
Open RAN is a technology, so it is agnostic to the country. It is agnostic to the so. We are building an Open RAN ecosystem, so because we can build this with the capability that we have today, most of them in the cloud itself capabilities. So Open RAN for us, it is a new way of building networks, a new way of going to the telco cloud approach. But last remark, and I know that I'm not answering because there is a lot of things to say. We don't have time. So we are upgrading every day the computing capacity. We are building every day the fiber capacity. So today we can offer 1.4 teras to our customer. We have in the lab 400 gigas. It is not something strange. So we are growing in computing. We are growing in transport, in office capabilities. And the only way to get this benefit in the future, it is if we are going through a pure softwareized model with different brains initially, one for the Open RAN and the other for the BNF. But once the computing it is upgrading, so we have the possibility to be concentrating this brain capabilities, these computing capabilities, and only we softwareize from the scratch. So once we reach the quantum computing, we should be capable trying to get the benefit. I know that it is a long-term journey. It is 15 years. I know it. But only we softwareize all the pieces. First of all, we can manage. And second one, we can upgrade the capacities. In 2015, don't doubt it, we will have an extraordinary computational capacities. So managing just pure hardware pieces that will be a fully commoditized. As far as we know this and we go to this, we need to be sure that we reuse all the CapEx that we are doing. We cannot be building layers and layers and layers of legacy. So we cannot do it. So, and our responsibility is to define how are the architectures and how we can reach it. So without waste money. So, and this is what we try to do every day. Sometimes we fail, but you know, even failing, we learn. And this is what we try to do.
Okay, Enrique, I'm going to sneak one quick question in. Do you think millimeter wave is essential to ensure that 5G reaches its full potential in the RAN?
As a complementary solution, no doubt. Millimeter waves is very difficult that they compete with fiber, with FTTH, because once you reach 1 giga, I can reach 10 giga with fiber. As a complementary solution, no doubt. So we are extremely interested. The main problem that the millimeter wave they need to solve, it is the CPEs, how you can offer your customer a very good quality with Wi-Fi or with 5G. So, but with the customer premises equipment, it needs to be simple. Today, they are much more close to a satellite solution than to a traditional solution. But as a complementary solution, no doubt. So it is a very good solution.
Enrique, thank you very much. My favorite quotation from the session this morning is, "We are Telefonica. We are not looking for an easy way. We are looking for the right way." I like that very much indeed.
But this means that sometimes we make mistakes. Don't forget it in your
Well, who doesn't? It's part of
Thank you very much.
the deal.